Hey everyone, welcome back to my platform. I just want to give everybody an update. I did hire an animator for my children's movie. Very excited about that. I'm going to get started on that project with the animator tomorrow. Today we worked out all the details, but I was just thinking about the goodness of God and remembering when I was about 8 years of age, being in the children's choir at Mount Olivet Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. Not really understanding what I was doing, but I was singing for God at a really, really early age, serving God. Not really understanding the holiness of God, knowing that who He was, but not knowing how to, walk upright before the Lord, because I was young. And then I can remember being like in my teenage years, every now and then our family would go to church. Y'all, I didn't understand nothing about the holiness of God or the altar, how holy that was supposed to be or anything. And I can remember as a teenager, when everybody had gone out to church, I hopped up in the pulpit, grabbed the holder of the microphone that was turned off, and started singing worldly songs off the radio in the church when nobody was looking. I know God was like, this child right here, what am I going to do with her? You know what I'm saying? And then, now that I'm an adult, we're in the house of God and I've matured in the things of God. I know the house of God is a holy place. It's supposed to be holy. And we're supposed to take the things of God so serious. When I go to church, it's very serious. I'm not trying to socialize, even though I'm friendly and I'm speaking to people. I'm there to hear a word from God. So during worship, I don't want to hear no chit-chatting. We supposed to be worshiping God, okay? And when the word is going forth, I won't hear no chit-chatting. We're supposed to be hearing what God is saying from that pulpit. And when prophetic words are going forth, be quiet so I can hear what God is saying. I don't want to miss anything, because it's vital that we go into the house of God a certain way. And I was fussing a little bit during the convention. I was fussing in that back section. I don't care where you seated in church. You supposed to respect worship and respect when the word of God is going forth. We're not there to socialize, even though we do socialize before worship and before the word is going forth and after church service. But during church service, we are to have the utmost respect for God. And I was fussing. I told him, stop all that talking. We're in worship. You know what I'm saying? The word is going forth. That's disrespectful to God. And so it straightened up. But people got up in there and they was worshiping God in my little section. And they stopped all that chit-chatting, because I got after everybody. So, but I could remember when I was 7, 8, not knowing really about the things of God. And then when I was in my teenage years, I could just remember being so disrespectful, not knowing the holiness of God and how to respect God, and having my little hind parts up in that pulpit singing worldly songs off the radio. I know God just shook his head at me and said, this girl right here, this one right here, once she finds out, she gonna change her little tune. And so, I just want to make sure I stopped by and spoke these words, because when you go to church, you're supposed to go to worship God and to hear a word and And that's it. That's why when you go to church, you're supposed to respect God. In the house of God, you're not supposed to be disrespectful and stopping and talking. And I mean, everybody was just like we was at a social gathering. No, not during worship, and not when the word is going forth. So yeah, I had a few choice words, and I was fussing, and all that stopped. So yeah, up in that, because I don't like sitting real close. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? If I need to get up and get out and go take care of some business, I don't want to interrupt the service. I don't want to be disrespectful in the house of God. So I usually sit in a certain area. So when wherever you're seated, you're supposed to be respectful to God at all times and be mature sons and daughters of God. Nobody should have to tell you to be quiet in the house of God. When worship is going forth and when the word is going forth, you are not supposed to be like you 2 years old chit-chatting. That's just, come on now. So, but anyway, I got the animator all lined up. We're ready to go, and we're ready to serve God. So you could tell when I was raising my children, they had some wiggle room. They had some freedom. They could be kids. Woo, be a kid, But you see this line right here? Don't cross it. Don't cross that line. Because if you cross the line, that means you're being disobedient to your parents. And so now you're getting yourself out there too far. You're going too far to the left or to the right. And so now mom's going to have to, find a form of punishment to fit whatever it is you're doing. Okay, so that's just how I was. I was a disciplinarian type of parent, because if you don't discipline your children, they're going to get out there and get caught up in some stuff they don't have no business caught up because you didn't care enough to tell them right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure I explained the holiness and the respect that we should have toward God and the house of God and the things of God. So, I was that kind of parent. My oldest son, he came back to me a couple times and he said, Mom, I didn't understand it, but I understand it now. He says, Mom, I thank you for loving me enough to make sure I was straight doing what I was supposed to do. I'm like, yeah, son, your mom didn't want you out there locked up doing some crazy stuff. I didn't want that. So, it was pretty, let them be kids. Let them have some wiggle room to be children and to grow up. But look, you see this line over here? Don't cross this line. If you cross this line, that means you're being disobedient. And so then now I got to get you. I got to work with you until you get it together. So this is Prophetess Nurse Lois. God bless you.